Welcome to the Thriving Artist Podcast, where we share strategies and support for artists to thrive.
We know that the art world can feel like a lonely place, and we want to provide a network of support, impactful strategies, and an abundance of encouragement to help you grow your authentic art career.
We're your hosts. I'm Jamie Smith.
And I'm Kaylan Butine, and we are also the co-founders of the Thrive Together Network, a community of female and non-binary identifying artists and artists who are caregivers.
We truly believe in community over competition, and we're so glad you're here. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome to this episode of the Thriving Artist Podcast. We are so glad you're here. I'm Kaylan Butine, one of your hosts. And for me, accountability allows me to reach my goals.
And I'm Jamie Smith, and I'm your second host. And for me, accountability means I am not alone in my practice. It brings others near me, even though I am on the solo artist journey. So Kaylan and I both have had accountability on our minds. The Thrive Together Network community is prepping for our virtual art residency that kicks off this week. So we're in real planning mode. We are getting ready. We're making our plans for our whole month of February. And during February, every Tuesday, we have art and tea sessions, but they are going to become residency check-ins for accountability. So it's very much on our mind.
Yes, we really wanted to create this system of consistent accountability for our members when we are doing this big push of studio work in the month of February for the art residency. And I know for me, it really makes a big difference to see all of these other artists in our community who are also doing this work, who are working on a project or they're experimenting, pulling all the materials out in the studio in the month of February, and getting to come together and share that process is just so momentous and very, very inspiring.
Accountability for me can be such a buzzword. It feels like something we all want, but then what does it really mean? So, Kaylan, we've been talking lots about this and kind of thinking about what the word means to us. And the word to me, accountability, is really related to responsibility. So taking responsibility for something you said you were going to do and then doing it, which I feel like is a lot of weight to carry on your own. I feel like that's exactly what being an artist is.
Yes.
Carrying weight of things on your own.
Yes.
And that is why I love the idea of community accountability. It just connects me to other people. And it is a place to share that burden of the responsibility of a creative practice. So, of course, this leads us perfectly into our episode, Why Every Artist Needs Accountability. So we've worked out 4 reasons that we think are really important. I'm sure there are a lot more, but Kaylan, why don't you start us off?
So we really believe that every artist needs accountability, because to get accountability, we need to really get clear on what we care about and what we want as artists. The act of saying out loud to someone else what we want for our lives and our art careers means that we have to do some thinking, and we really have to process through our goals. So reason number 1 for why every artist needs accountability is that it requires us to be clear with ourselves. And of course, when we give attention and mental energy to something, that thing is only going to grow.
I love this because it makes me feel like I understand what accountability is rather than just a buzzword. And it really is a tool to support an art career. It's a tool to kind of support any big goal that you have. And it really leads to our reason number 2, why every artist needs accountability, is that many things in life are easier said than done. I cannot tell you the times that I have done the thing, the resolution,
said the thing.
and not done the thing.
Yes.
So having that accountability with another human or a community of humans allows us not just to talk the talk, but walk the walk. So having that thing said out loud, there's a feeling that you need to do it. And if you don't, they will know. And my biggest example of this is our boost group. So after every weekly session of Art and Tea, we stay on Zoom and we all post together on Instagram, and we'll talk about the latest sort of tips and tricks of using social media. And each week we make a challenge. So our amazing April Lashur, she's a leader in our community, comes up with a challenge. She's our guru. And then we talk about it and see how the last week challenge went. But I struggle so hard to post on Instagram. And so having this group every week, I feel this inner shame if I do not show up with that post done. I feel like I'm not fully participating, and it really works for me. Deep shame works for me.
And let's be clear, nobody is shaming you, but the accountability, the community experience of doing something together is where you get that motivation to keep up your social media practice. Like, it's a great...
Literally nothing happens to you if you don't do it. But it's even worse. It's like when a mom says, I'm disappointed in you.
Yes.
That's how I feel to myself. I show up and feel that. So it works.
I just want to say that whenever I hear, don't just walk the walk, or don't talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. When I was in basketball in junior high, that was like our slogan, and we had it printed. So, if we need TTN t-shirts in the future.
Slogan tees. I love it.
Okay, diversion. This idea of, community accountability being this motivating factor. I love, as we've mentioned, that accountability helps us get clear. It helps us do the things that we say we want to do. And I'm going to move us into number 3 for why every artist needs accountability. And that is to create goalposts. So there is so much that we have to juggle as artists, and many things are sort of these unnoticed things, these quiet things that go on behind the scenes. An art career requires really so much vast experience. We have to know how to do so many different things, and we are always on this journey of learning something new. Sometimes these things that we do, these quiet things, can be really hard to measure and hard to remember and hard to celebrate because we're not making them clear. But when we have accountability and when we're doing all of these things in community with fellow artists, these things become visible, they become understood, and then we get to celebrate them together. So we do a lot of reflection posts on the network for our artists, prompting them to share what they've been learning, what new tip they've come across, what resource they've come up with recently that they want to share with the group. We share everything from what we've accomplished recently in the studio and sharing new work in progress, or, how we can set ourselves up for a great week ahead. So there's this element of processing, but then also sharing that processing in this community space that is such a nourishing practice.
And just to, piggyback right off of that, I think another reason for this accountability piece and why every artist needs it is because it really allows you to share wins. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a really hard thing to do when you're a beautiful butterfly artist. You're living in a world of muggles. You are misunderstood, but other beautiful butterfly artists, they get this. And so having a place with an accountability buddy or a community really gives you that space to share those quiet wins, those triumphs that you are going to have. And it's a lot more fun to have those places to share.
Yeah. And speaking of accountability buddies, I actually just had someone message me recently and say that they needed a work wife like I have Jamie. Yes. They needed an accountability buddy. And, I think the easiest way to find an accountability is first to join a community where you feel welcomed, where you feel like you belong, where you see others who have the same goals and, things that they appreciate as you. And once you join that community, there will be those connections where you can go deeper, and those friendships where you can find, even deeper accountability, where you move not only from connecting with folks on the network, but now you exchange numbers and you're texting each other or whatever it is. So we just want to encourage you that if you're missing out on that accountability in an art buddy or a work wife in your life, joining a community like the Thrive Together Network or another community of artist groups really will help you feel, welcomed, where you can click and then those deeper connections can be formed. And the most important thing about creating accountability with other artists is just being super clear on the amount of communication you want in your life and how you want to be supported within that communication. And then how, the other artists that you are in connection with, how they are experiencing that, what level of communication and commitment they want as well.
I think it really comes down to expectations, because when those aren't aligned, it's so easy for an accountability buddy relationship to get off track and lose steam. And especially when we get busy, I feel like these important structures we create are the first thing to go, unfortunately. So I do think having clear expectations of what you're looking for, the time you have, are really good. I know that having the Tuesday art and tea, same time, same place, every Tuesday, really helps. So if you're trying to coordinate with an accountability buddy, I would stick to a similar format where there is this sort of easy to remember time. It can get very confusing when it's, this day works for me, and mapping schedules. Pick a time, and then you show up. You show up for yourself, and you keep that accountability going is so important. And so if you're looking for that and you want to join, an easy way to do it, Art and Tea, every Tuesday, you can head to thrivetogethernetwork.com and learn more and join us on a whole year of Art and Teas.
Yes,
Very
it's
excited.
My favorite time of the week. So Jamie and I are really excited for the year ahead, and we hope that you find all the support you need to thrive, whether that's in our community or not. As always, we are here for you. We are cheering you on, and we truly believe in the work that you are doing to be thriving artists in the world.